Why Electric Vehicles Are Not Better Than Fossil Fuel Vehicles by David Vogel. Electric vehicles, EVs, are often promoted as the future as transportation due to their potential reduce in greenhouse gas emissions and reliance on fossil fuels. However, while EVs offer certain environmental benefits, they are not without significant drawbacks. In fact, when considering the full life cycle of those vehicles, from production to disposal, there are compelling reasons to argue that EVs are not inherently better than fossil fuel vehicles. One of the most significant concerns about electric vehicles is the environmental impact of battery productions. EVs rely largely on lithium ion batteries, which require mining of rare earth metals such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel. The extraction of these metals is energy intensive and often involves environmentally destructive practices. For instance, battery productions can emit between 50 to 900 kilograms of CO power kilowatt hour, meaning a 100 kilowatt battery, could result in up to 9 metric tons of emission before the vehicle is even driven. Moreover, around 67% of global battery production emissions are concentrated in China, Indonesia, and Australia, regions where coal remains dominant energy sources. Additionally, the electric provides that EVs is not also clean. Although renewable energy is growing, fossil fuels still account for a sizable part of the global electric generation. As of mid 2025, fossil fuel provides approximately 59% of global electricity, with coal and natural gas still dominant in many regions. This means that charging an EV may simply shift emissions from the tailpipe to the power plant, undermining the argument that EVs are clean alternative to gas-line powered cars. Another issue is the limited range and long time changing associated with EVs. While battery technology is improving, most electric cars still cannot match the range of traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. In 2025, the average EV range is between 300 to 400 miles, with luxury models like Lucid Air reaching over 500 miles. However, gasoline vehicles typically offer 400 to 600 miles per tank and can be refueled in minutes, making them more practical for long distance travel. Changing infrastructure is still uneven. Charging infrastructure is still uneven, especially in rural areas, and fast charging still takes 15 to 40 minutes depending on the station. Cost cost is also a barrier to widespread EV adoption. Although prices are gradually decreasing, decreasing, my apologies, electric vehicles are still more expensive upfront than fossil fuel counterparts. Battery replacements cost widely by model range from 4,000 for a Nissan Leaf to over 15,000 for a Tesla Model S. These costs can be prohibitive, especially for owners of older EVs whose warranties have expired. Finally, the disposal and recycling of EV batteries pose environmental challenges. Lithium-ion batteries hold toxic materials that can be harmful if not properly handled. Currently, only about 5% of EV batteries are recycled globally, compared to 99% of lead-acid car batteries in the US. Improper disposal can lead to soil and water contamination and even landfill fires. Some sites have reported dozens of fires annually due to discarded batteries. Although hydrometric, what did I use this word? Hydromet recycling methods can recover up to 95% of key materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. These technologies are not yet widely adopted at scale. In conclusion, which electric vehicle offers advantages, particularly in reducing urban air pollution? They are not a perfect solution. The environmental and ethical ethical issue associated with battery production, reliance on fossil fuel generated electricity, particularly eliminates and in the inflated costs all like suggest that EVs are not equally better than fossil fuels. A more balanced approach that includes improving fuel efficiency, invest in alternative fuel, and developing sustainable energy sources may be more effective path toward a clearing transportation future. And this is my like 900th take, and if I stumbled, my apologies. I've tried.